Have you been wondering the type of inverter that is suitable for your home use? Have you decided to go solar and you don't know which inverter is suitable for your home devices? How many kVA you need? How many batteries you need? The best type of inverter to purchase? If this has been your problem, relax. We got you covered on today's topic. Today, we shall be dealing on the different type of inverters and the best that is suitable for your home use. My name is Christopher Ifeanyi Okwoke, and you're welcome to my YouTube channel, Nico TV 247. Now, let's dive into the video proper. We have two major types of, there are a lot of inverters in the market, but I'll be dwelling on two major types of inverters, as you can see here. This is a modified sine wave inverter, and this is a pure sine wave inverter. This video in no way is meant to promote any product. I'm not promoting any product. This is strictly for educational purposes. Modified sine wave inverters are cheaper to purchase, but they are not meant to be used for delicate devices such as modern flat screen televisions like LED televisions, maybe some flat screen laptop. Any delicate device is not meant to run on modified sine wave inverters. The reason is the output source will have what we call the DC and the AC power source. The DC power source is the power source that comes from the battery directly, while the is called direct current, while the AC is alternative current, the 220 to 240 volts that we get from our national grid or from our generator source. This is practically what the inverter does. The inverter, as a machine, converts the direct current that it gets from the battery into an alternative current, that is the AC voltage, which in turn power all your electrical appliances at your home. But when you make use of the modified sine wave inverter, you will have challenges if your product, such as the television, is a delicate one. It might get burnt when you use the modified sine wave inverter because it does not really regulate the power output. What this means is, if the sun ray is at the peak of the day and your battery travels from 12.4 to say 12.8 or 12.6 volts, your modified sine wave inverter will start producing a higher voltage that might be detrimental to your delicate devices. It will not regulate the power coming out from it. When the sun ray drops down and your battery level comes down to maybe 12.5, it also brings it down to probably 180 to 170 volts, which also is not suitable for delicate devices. However, it will power your home and it will still power whatever item you want it to power. But the bad side is that it can get them damaged. The good side is that it's very cheap. So if you're a Nigerian like me, maybe you will consider getting a modified sine wave inverter. However, on the other hand, the pure sine wave inverter, as the name implies, is pure. The major drawback is that it is much more expensive to purchase, but the energy is very stable and the power output is purely regulated. With the pure sine wave inverter, all your delicate devices are covered. You don't fear damages. You don't fear over voltage. You don't fear under voltage. If it is producing 220 volts, it's 220 volts. If it's 200 volts, it's 200 volts. If it's 240 volts, it's 240 volts. That is the pure sine wave inverter. So I believe at this point you've been able to make up your mind which we prefer. Now let's go to the size of inverter that you need for your home. Let's say you've decided that you want to go alternative power supply, you want to go solar, you want to start powering your apartment with an inverter. And sometimes there's this controversy that people will say, I want an inverter. Some will say, I want solar system. I want 3.8 kVA solar system. I want 5 kVA solar system. I want 10 kVA solar system, as many as they have it. But I want you to understand this, that the kVA of an inverter from 1 kVA to 5, 10, 20, 30 kVA, as you may have it, that this is just the strength, the output strength of the inverter, what the inverter can handle. The kVA is in no way related to the number of batteries that you have in your solar bank or in your battery bank. The inverter determines the size of load that you can power at every given time. Let's say, for example, if you are using a 1 kVA inverter on a welding machine, it might not be able to power that welding machine because the welding machine might be using transformer that is heavier and much bigger than the 1 kVA inverter. If you are using a 10 kVA inverter, you find out that it will be able to also power that welding machine comfortably. So the inverter's duty is to power your appliances. That you have 10 kVA or 20 kVA inverter does not mean that your apartment is going to run on solar 24 hours. I want you to erase that from your memory. All right. That you have a 10 kVA inverter does not guarantee that your home appliances is going to run for 24 hours. No, that is not the case. That is the very wrong notation that most solar experts and engineers have given to their customers or their clients. This is very wrong. The size of inverter that you have does not determine how long your power is going to last. Does not determine that you are going to have 24 hours power supply. The major factor to determine that you have stable and all-round time power supply is this number of batteries you have in your battery bank. The battery configuration, this is what is going to tell or determine that you have continuous power supply 24 hours. So the major factor that determines you have 24 hours power supply in your apartment is the number of batteries you have in your battery bank and the type of inverter that you chose eventually. The battery duty simply is to store energy. So all throughout the day, the battery keeps storing energy for you to use during the off-peak period, which is at night when the sun ray has gone off. So the number of charges the battery have gotten is what is supposed to power you all through the night and not really the size of inverter that you installed that powers you all through. The inverter simply assists you to power whatever size of load you want, depending on the choice you make. But the battery determines how long your power supply is going to stay before it goes off. For you to determine the system that is suitable for your apartment. These are the factors to consider. Number one, we determine the total wattage that our home appliances are consuming. Number two, we determine the number of hours we want our backup power source to last. Number three, we determine the number of batteries needed to power our home appliances for the number of hours we've chosen. Number four, we have to determine the number of solar panels needed. And finally, at number five, we chose the type of inverter that is adequate for our home appliances. At this point, we now decide the type of inverter that is suitable for our home. Remember, we are running 150 watts total home appliances, and we are running 2 batteries in parallel connection, and we are also running our 4 solar panels also in parallel connection. So what type of inverter do we need at this point? So if we go and choose 5 kVA inverter to power a 150 watts home appliance, we are not making the right choice. The bigger the inverter, the more your battery discharges when it is not even in use. The smaller the inverter, the lesser it discharges your battery when it is not in use. So we want to power 150 watts. Why using a 5 kVA inverter? We don't need it. At this point, what we need is a 500 watts inverter. But the second question is, how delicate is the appliances that we want to power? As pure sine wave inverters do not come in 500 watts, they come in kVA. They don't come in microtex. So the second is, what type of inverter do we want to use? Do we want to use microtech inverters, also known as sachet inverters? That is the modified sine wave inverter, which is this. Or do we want to go for a pure sine wave inverter? The answer to this question depends on the delicate nature of the devices we want to power with this inverter. So if you are powering delicate items, I will advise you go for the 1 kVA inverter. This will be able to comfortably power your 150 watts appliances without overheating, because the closer the wattage of your appliance to the rating of the inverter, the more the inverter gets heated. So we are powering a delicate item. We make use of pure sine wave inverter 1 kVA. This will only discharge about 0.5 to 0.7 amps when it is not in use. So you will be losing almost no energy when your battery is not in use. And also your appliances are well protected. But if we choose this, the 1000 watts sachet inverter or microtech inverter, also known as the modified sine wave inverter, we should also know the challenges that we face with delicate appliances. So the choice is yours. For me, I go for the pure sine wave inverter because I want to power my home appliances and I want them to be safe. With this, you are protected. So I believe with this video, you've been able to determine the size of inverter needed to power your home comfortably. Other material that you will also be needing, which will also be expatiated in our next video, is the size of charge controllers, the type of charge controllers that you will be needing for your solar panels, which I did not mention in this video. This video is specifically for making decision on the type of inverter needed. I believe with this video, you've been able to decide the type of inverter you need for your home. If this video has been useful to you, please share this video, Click on the subscribe button so that you can get more of our educative videos on solar energy. And don't forget, like this video. Thank you very much in advance. My name is Christopher Ifeanyi Okwoke, and once again, thanks for watching Nico TV 247. Bye-bye.